Tim, how do you defend a law-breaking liar, and why would anybody want to?
I'd like to explain that to you, James.
Please.
And if you could just bear with me, sir, I'll just make the point, if you don't mind. I'm an army veteran, and I want to voice opinion in relation to that point you've just raised,
yes.
and also look at the word leadership, because look. I'm an army veteran. I was in Northern Ireland for 5 years, armed explosives search. I've just lost my job because of PTSD and depression.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate.
And I also want to say, I've lost my 19-year-old nephew in Afghanistan. I've lost my son the year before last. We're a family that have made a contribution to this country. And I've had to pull in, and I'm sorry that I get a bit emotional.
Hey, don't apologise.
Am I too old-fashioned? Is it me to think that in this world where we gave somebody the rank and the office to look after us, to care for the nation, to do the right things and describe themselves as honourable? Well, I'll tell you something now. I've carried all those traits with me every single working day of my life, and I've never been unemployed, and that's why it's hit me so much. But I want to say something. The world affairs at the moment are such that we don't know what's going to happen. And there's going to be some very, very strong, brave people possibly defending our nation. And what I want to say, when you look to leadership and when you look to the higher ranks who you believe have got your interests at heart, I went to work 7 days a week, for 5 years, not knowing if I was coming home at tea time. I was arms explosive search. Yeah. And when I look to my leadership and I see Mr. Johnson, I feel appalled, I feel betrayed, and it's not just Mr. Johnson, it's the whole... And you know what it is, James? No. It's a regime. And that's the problem. Certain politicians, when they talk about whether we keep... It's all about... They're playing at it. It's like a pseudo type of action. They're almost playing at the game of politics. And there's some real serious matters that affect people in this country. And I just want to say to you, am I old-fashioned when I talk about chivalry, when I talk about honour, when I talk about dignity? That man has got none of it. I'm absolutely appalled. I feel betrayed, and I feel that the lives of my family and what I've had to suffer has just been wasted on people like that.
No, it hasn't.
It's not. And every politician that does defend him, and you look at the bureaucracy, you look at the hypocrisy, you look at the corruption that this government is. What on earth reason have you got to put good men and women in harm's way in future when these people are making the decisions? I'm appalled. And why do they survive, James? Why do they survive? Because the politicians that could do something think about their own backsides first and their own politics and their own incomes, and they haven't got a clue about honour and dignity. I'm not saying all politicians, but the ones who defend him in this country need a real big shake-up. And I'm just appalled. It's cost me a lot. It's cost my family a lot. And I'm just saying, I had to pull in because, it's the corruption of it. It's the actual hypocrisy of this government. And you know what? This is the sort of stuff that happens in tin pot countries, not the UK. I'm sorry for being a bit blunt.
No, I'm sorry for being a bit blunt. Do me a favour. Thank you for your honesty and for your service. Would you let me say one thing to you?
Yeah, go on.
You didn't do it for Boris Johnson, Tim. I didn't. You did it for everybody listening to this programme. You did it for people like Malala. You did it for people in Afghanistan who needed defending at the time. And also, of course, when Osama bin Laden was sheltering in the Hindu Kush. I'm talking about your nephew now, not you directly. It wasn't for the politicians that sent you there that you were doing it any more than when you were in Northern Ireland. You were doing it for the politicians that sent you there. You were doing it in the hope of keeping the peace.
I was more talking about the fact, James, that these are the people who make the decision.
I just hate the idea of you beating yourself up for what you've done, or feeling that in any way your service has been cheapened by the current incumbent of Number 10 Downing Street, because it just
I think it's disgusting. I think they're a disgrace.
I agree with you.